sitting very close together today.
We are.
The table didn't get any smaller, so how's that make sense?
Just all the time in the gym, brother.
Our shoulders are getting wider.
Yeah.
You do look wide right now. Maybe it's the shirt. I don't know.
I think you do too. I think
That's
the workout / Kelly's been doing wonders for you.
Yeah. Definitely has been. I don't know if anyone looks at me and goes, that guy's wide.
The boys seem to think so now.
Well, wider than prior.
Right.
In the right way, too. Like, wider, not, like, thicker.
Right.
Well, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. More of an athletic shape.
Right. More of an upside-down triangle.
Not shaped like an iPhone.
Yeah. Instead of a rectangle.
To quote Chris Lidsman.
Yeah. Lotsy kind of looks like an iPhone, eh? As I'm, like, walking away from his stall, like, half naked.
You just hear that behind you? God.
Yeah, and then our captain, Logan Nelson, is losing his mind laughing at it. He like, doesn't listen to anything ever, and then he catches that little quote from Chris, and he just starts dying.
Yeah, but that's right up Nelly's alley.
Yeah.
You know he thinks that one's hilarious.
Yeah, he loved it. And he also loved body shaming me, too.
Yeah, he did.
He called me Sid.
Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, right?
Yeah. That is a triangle. Not an upside
That's
down.
a wrong way triangle.
Yeah, it's like it's a triangle.
Sideways and forward.
Yeah. Yes. Well, forward was like a circle, or like an oval, maybe.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Was calling you Sid.
Sid is good.
One of the better ones I've heard.
I still hear it every once in a while from him.
Yeah, Nelly doesn't forget any nickname that he comes up with ever.
No. But it's one of those nicknames that's like, okay, it used to make sense, now it doesn't, but it's almost funnier now that it doesn't.
But he's still going to call you that anyways, because that's just how he is.
It's like when Collie calls me Pineapple Head. Because I had a bad haircut 8 years ago.
I feel like Nelly invented that one too. Oh no, did Collie invent that one 8 years ago?
I don't remember.
You played
which
with
one.
both of them at that time, didn't you?
Yes, but I don't know who came up with the name. But they both love that name. What's up, Pineapple Head?
I can't imagine because we had it for a year, although it was a weird year. I can't imagine those two on a team together in the same room all the time.
It's a lot of fun.
And on the bus.
It's a lot of fun.
I believe it. Both great personalities, both hilarious guys. It would be insanity before and after practice every day.
It's constant buffoonery. Like non-stop yelling, screaming, chirping.
Yeah.
Laughter.
No one's safe in that room.
No. But in the most part, you're just hanging in the weeds hoping not to be the victim.
Although TB got Collie last week, which is hilarious.
With what?
Remember he said like nice blue shorts.
Oh yeah. And that's when he just...
If I were TB, I would not have said anything.
And that's like Collie just got there, and he doesn't like mornings.
He doesn't like mornings. He literally walked into the room, and that was the first thing anybody said to him.
He couldn't even... Collie was like...
Anthony Collins is not one guy to be chirping first thing in the morning, or ever, but especially first thing in the morning.
No, but I will say, speaking of the devil, he's just texted us. I will say Collie, in my opinion, is one of the toughest guys I've ever seen on the ice. Definitely, probably the toughest guy I've ever played with. Definitely the toughest guy I've ever played with.
In terms of, fighting and just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But off the ice, I don't think... he's soft. I'm not saying I would... Like, his punch would
Are you
still
saying
suck.
in a good way?
Yeah. Like he's a good guy.
Nicest, most caring guy?
Yeah, wouldn't hurt a fly.
No.
Except for
which is hilarious because then you watch his on-ice highlights and it's like, wow.
I know. I had to just bite my tongue there on a off-ice story about Collie.
Right, yeah.
The snake story?
We got to let him...
Do you remember the snake that he was telling us about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's
afraid of snakes.
Do you remember how he took that one down?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That is... You got to be a little bit psycho.
With his hockey... Well, we knew he was psycho.
Yeah.
With his hockey stick.
That's crazy, though.
Sounds like a hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to let Collie tell all these stories, though. We got to get him on here at some point.
I feel like we missed our opportunity. We're going to have to zoom him in now.
We'll zoom him in, but I feel like, again, he's not a one-episode kind of guy.
True. Yeah, he can be a repeat guest.
Yeah, he'll be,
And he loves to talk, so this is right up his
I was thinking it'd be the best episode so far because we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, we would just sit here and listen.
Yeah.
We would need to like put his mic volume on like the lowest.
Because the speakers wouldn't sound right the entire time.
No. It would, like, every time he would talk, it would spike.
Yeah. We're here for it. That's awesome.
What do you got for us today, Hayden?
I got 3 different things. First one we got to get into right away, though, because now this has been coming out today. Apparently, Jeremy Swayman was offered $64 million by the Bruins, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
Now, you might have to look this up on your phone, but I'm assuming it's an 8x8.
Yeah. I mean, I can look it up, but let's just assume.
So, assuming it's an 8x8, they haven't said what he wants, but you have to assume that he wants like $10 million a year.
Which would
right?
which would make him tied for the highest paid goalie in the National League with Bob.
Don't know. Is Carey still being paid?
Yeah, but he was at 10.
He was at 10. He might have been the only guy at that time to play in the finals over 10 though.
What's
for a
Wassy
cap
making?
hit? Like 9 something, I think, or 10.
Yeah.
Wassy's in Florida. There's no state tax.
Right.
Which is we'll get into that at a different time. That's not the conversation for right now.
Right.
But I have a theory that states with no state tax have better hockey teams.
Oh wait, this says $8 million AVV for 6 years. What's 8?
Oh, a 6x8.
Well, what's 6 times 8?
Then that's only 48? So why did Cam Neely say 64 million reasons?
I was just about to pull up my calculator, but
Did he do bad math, or did they offer him 8 and this is wrong?
The Bruins president did not offer any more details, including the length of the deal, but an educated guess would put the term at $8 million AVV for 6 years. Oh,
so
probably.
Okay, so basic math,
Yeah,
would say it's not. Based on what Cam Neely said, basic math would say that it's not a 6x8 because that would only be 48 million. Cam Neely said, quote, "There's 64 million reasons I'd be playing right now if I were Jeremy Swayman." So that means it's an 8x8.
What about maybe signing bonus?
Maybe signing bonus, but
It's either that or this author.
that said there's speculation, right? Didn't say that's what they're offering.
Right, that's speculation.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go with Cam Neely, who works for the Bruins,
Yeah, that's
rather than this author.
the president of the
Right,
Bruins.
the president of the Bruins, and said, I'm going to guess they offered him an 8x8, which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Now, to me, for Jeremy Swayman, that's a very fair deal.
Yep.
But it sounds like he wants something in the region of $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to think, $10 million is what like Bob is making.
Yep.
Okay? Bob has 2 Vezinas, a cup, was a Hall of Famer before he won the cup,
Yep.
and Olympic medals, I think.
Don't know.
Okay, so Bob has this huge resume.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Swayman is not the same resume as Bob.
What is Jeremy Swayman's resume? 3 years in the National?
Yeah, and he's been good. But that's not 2 Vezinas.
No.
That's not a cup,
No.
right? The Bruins lost second round last year.
Right.
So, to me, $8 million is pretty fair. It's above average, and it's what a good goalie in the NHL should make. But I think he needs a little bit longer just to build his resume to get to that $10 million mark.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. I am shocked that that's what's on the table and he's not taking it. With all that being said, Bob's contract was signed when?
I want to say that would have been like 4 years ago now.
So we'd have to look at the salary cap and then get an average out and say, okay, if Bob was the age he was at the time of signing right now and had the exact same resume leading up to that point, but it was right now, would that $10 million contract actually be a $12 million contract?
I don't know. I think they account for that.
I think so too. So that I'm just being devil's advocate, even though I agree with you. Maybe that's the way. Because keep in mind, Jeremy Swayman said, "Oh, I've been through this before. I know how this works. I have to. If I sign a crappy deal, it's going to hinder all the other goalies when it comes time for them to sign." Right? I was paraphrasing a lot of that, but you get the idea.
Okay,
so
that makes
that's
sense.
in his mind too, right? Like maybe he's looking at it like, oh, I had like the best goal save above expected of anybody in the playoffs by like times 2. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense, except for that the best goalies are making maybe $10 million.
Yeah.
Like Bob and Vassy. Sorokin's making what, like 5 or 6?
I'm not sure.
You're going to tell me you're better than Ilya Sorokin right now?
I personally don't think he is it right now.
I don't think so either.
I'm not saying he can't be. I think he's pretty nasty.
Igor's been making like 5.5 or 6 for the last like 4 years.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're better than Igor?
Nope.
So now Igor's going to get big time money.
Yeah.
But he has a Vezina. He's been in the conference finals multiple times, and he's been really good for the Rangers. He's been the pure starter for like 4 years.
Yeah, he's got a larger sample size.
He was hurt this past year, and Quickie obviously played really well. But I'm saying Igor deserves that more than Swayman does at this point.
I agree. I think it's kind of outrageous that Jeremy Swayman isn't signing that contract, because by not signing it, he's basically saying I'm a top 3 goalie in the NHL. Now, I'm not saying I don't think he can be that, or that he's not that right now, because clearly you can make an argument.
He's a good goalie.
Yeah,
we like him.
But he wasn't even in our top 5.
No, he wasn't in our top 5, and he's asking for top 5 money. And
he's asking for top.
He
3
wasn't
money.
even in Henrik Lundqvist, Martin Berdeur's, or Mike Vernon's top 5, was he?
I think one of them had him.
So he was in one out of like 5 people. He was in one top 5.
No, Ullmark was.
Yeah, but not Swayman.
I don't think so. I think it was Ullmark.
Yeah, I don't remember Swayman being in those top 5s.
I don't know,
but neither was Hellebuyck.
I don't think
what
so.
Are we talking about?
Yeah, which is bananas.
So I think this is a fair deal. Now, this is what I don't understand about the NHL. Why can't you just do like a 3-year at $8 million, play well for 3 years, then sign a massive deal after that?
Because
you bridge it.
Because I feel like unless the situation is perfect, where both sides want a bridge, the player doesn't want a bridge deal. Why would you want a bridge deal? Unless you don't want to, you don't know if you want to be in that spot.
You don't know if you want to be in that spot, but also it's team friendly. You sign now for less money. Say, I'm going to prove myself to this organization. Then after I do that, now I'm a $10 million guy. After Swayman wins a Vezina in one of the 3 years.
But the risk,
after he wins a Conn Smythe. After he wins a cup in one of the next 3 years. Then he can go from, okay, here's my bridge deal at $8 million that I'll take to be team friendly. Now I'm worth 10.
Okay. Maybe he did say that. And they're like, no.
And that, yeah.
Because we see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to get 12 million out of us 3 years from now, and we're not doing that.
Which I think would be great, because now the cap's going to be up 3 years from now.
Agreed.
As if you're looking at it from an organization standpoint, you're already handcuffed with Pasta's contract.
And it could also swing the other way.
Yeah.
If you're the organization, you'd be like, okay. But if you're not performing for the next 3 years, then we're going to offer you a $6 million year, or $6 million.
That's the risk. That's the risk with not taking money right now.
Right.
Because if you underperform, now you're not going to get that deal.
It's like the who was the number 2 behind Michael Jordan, and it was like
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, his contract was like terrible, but he signed it at a time where the Bulls were like, meh. Right. Mm-hmm. So he's like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that consistent money.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
He could have used a bridge deal. Scotty should have taken a bridge deal.
And I'm saying, and I think if you're a team first person, then that bridge deal would be great.
Right.
And you can play. Now, apparently, this morning, or just recently, the Bruins said that Corpy is going to be their night 1 starter. So it sounds like Swayman is going to be out for a while, and they don't know when he's going to be in there.
Yeah, night 1 is like 10 days from now, though.
Yeah. So right? that means he's not going to have a contract in the next week and a half.
Because he's not willing to sign.
I guess so, or the Bruins aren't willing to budge.
Yeah, I don't think I blame the Bruins, man.
I think that's a very fair deal. I think it's a little bit too much. I think Swayman he's been great. He's earned to be the starter there. Mm-hmm. He's earned that. Now he's got to earn the big time money. Now, Bob makes 10. He just won a cup.
Yep.
So you could think, okay, goalies can make 10. You win the cup. Mm-hmm. But Florida Panthers also have a top 3 player in the league, in my opinion, Sasha Barkov, and they have nobody making over $10 million.
Sasha's not making 10?
He makes 10. He's not making over 10.
Right.
So Pasta's making, what, 12 and a half?
Yeah.
So now at this point, it's not apples to apples anymore. Mm-hmm. You can't compare yourself to the Panthers unless you have unless your cap is the same, or your contracts are the same as theirs are.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like the Bruins top end players making 12, so then their top goalies making 8, and then the Panthers is like 10 and 10, both equals 20.
Yeah, right.
How's that for math?
That's good math.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess when he was going off about how he can't mess up the market for other goalies and it's his duty, blah blah blah, I'm thinking, yeah, man, I get it. I kind of respect that in a way. I was thinking maybe he's getting offered like $5 or $6 million, and the Bruins are being stingy.
No,
but I don't think anybody in the hockey world would have batted an eye if he signed for 8 and 8. It would have been like,
yeah,
wow,
that makes sense.
Great deal for the team, great deal for Swayman.
Right,
that's what I would have said.
Right. I mean, you want to talk about, if you want to go into market setting, you have Bob, who's won 2 Vezinas and a Cup and has had multiple international accolades, let's say. So he makes $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
You have Barkov, who, in my opinion, for what he does, is a top 3 player in the world.
Yep.
He makes $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
You have maybe the best player to ever play the game, making 8.7.
Yeah.
You're not the best player to ever play the game. Right. He makes $8.7 million a year. Mm-hmm. That's the market for you.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about right now?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never been in that position. It's
me neither.
I would love to hear more details about it from his side of things. But I think after hearing this, there's going to be a lot of people that agree with us that were like, oh, I'm with Swayman. I want him to get paid. He's obviously getting offered crap. But now it's like, if he's actually been offered a $64 million contract, what are you doing? What are you doing, man?
And
you're not messing up the market at all by signing an 8x8. How many goalies are making $8 million in the National Hockey League?
Not many.
What did Jacob Markstrom just sign for?
Good question.
Did he sign, or did
his contract get traded?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm looking it up, but that would be like a fair comparable, right?
Yeah.
It's like Jacob Well, by fair comparable, I just mean a guy that's probably not, actually, definitely is not as I don't want to say, he doesn't have as many accolades as Bobrovsky, but he's been around as long as Bobrovsky, kind of. Right.
Yeah, he's been around since like a 19-year-old.
Right. So what's that guy making? Because he's been doing it a lot longer than Swayman, and he's been an elite goaltender, which I would consider both of them.
And many people consider him a top 5 in the league.
Right.
Markstrom.
Yes, for a lot longer, by like 4 times as long as Swayman. So what's he making? I'm going to look it up. But
I think you should look that up. Now here's another thing, being in the Southern Pro, that we don't have to deal with.
Making money.
Number 2, your agent helping you with contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So Swayman could be wanting one thing, but his agent might say, hey, no, you cannot sign that. You need to sign this $10 million a year, and that's what you need to demand.
Right. And he has his reasoning for that, but you, as the athlete, at the end of the day, you're in control of it. You can say, no, sign that 8x8.
Yeah.
I want to play. That's a good contract. Sign it.
And I'm only making $700K less than maybe the best player to ever play the game.
Right.
And the agent's job is to make you, take care of you, and take care of them. Make you money, make them money. Their job isn't to win a Stanley Cup.
Right. Yeah.
Your job is to win a Stanley Cup.
Right.
So you got to take that into account too. This is what my agent is saying, but this is what I know is best for the team. This is what I'm going to sign.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, exactly. And that's why, as a player, you've got to be like, no, man, I don't need the extra $2 million a year.
Right.
It's not the right thing for me right now. It's not the right thing for my team right now. Would I like an extra $2 million? Sure. But it's not going to help my team win a championship. And the team is not offering me that right now because Past is signed for $12 million and they can't afford that.
Right.
So okay, now what are my options? Now you're saying I'm just not going to play for potentially the whole season. I'm not going to play. That's not going to help me signing a contract for next year.
Right. But again, that's again on, in the Bruins' opinion now, that's on him. Their opinion is we've come to him with a fair deal. We've given him 64 million reasons he should be playing right now.
Right.
He doesn't want to sign for that. He doesn't want to play for that. So if he doesn't sign a contract this year and it hurts him in the future signing contracts and other teams don't want to sign him because of this, that's on him.
Yeah.
That's what the Bruins are saying right now.
Right. And I wonder if like the camp of Jeremy Swayman was like, no, we we got them by the balls because they just traded Ullmark away. Like, they need you, man.
Right.
They need you. So
Which
they'll sign you to $10 million.
But now they got Corpy in there.
Right. And watch Corpy.
And Corpy
Corpy
has been on teams with bad defenses. And now guess what? He's on a team with good defense.
Yes. Look out. Jonas Korpisalo for Vezina.
He hasn't had a good defense since Torts was there in Columbus.
How'd he do that year?
He's been doing well. I mean, he's done well. It's
Yeah.
him and Bob. Bob's obviously a Vezina guy.
Yeah.
Corpy was a good second guy.
Safe to say Bob's probably better than Corpy.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's better than Bob, but I like him.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good for the Bruins.
I need your reaction on this.
Okay,
Not
so we're looking at Jacob Markstrom's contract, and we're comparing this to what Jeremy Swayman is asking for. Swayman was offered 8, okay? Markstrom, who's on multiple top 5 goalies list, is making how much money a year, Lotzi? What's his contract?
He is making $6 million a year. He signed back in 2020. He signed a deal for 6 years, 6 by 6, for a total of 36. He's also 36 years old. He's also 6'6".
He signed as a top 5 goalie in the league, according to multiple people, a 6 by 6. So as a top 5 goalie in the league, he's making $6 million a year.
In 2020.
We're talking about the market for goaltending. What are we talking about right now?
Mm-hmm. Dude, a $6 million like goaltending.
That means Jeremy Swayman gets paid $2 million more a year than Markstrom does, and Markstrom's in multiple top 5 lists, and Swayman isn't.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the same thing. I just got a notification from the Score saying Bruins hint at Swayman offer. I thought maybe it said, I saw Swayman and Bruins, and I was like, maybe he signed. Well, as we're talking about it, which would be crazy.
By the way, we both really like Swayman. We think he's a good dude.
Yeah,
But this is nothing against Swayman. We're just having fun talking about this.
This is again just look, the Score goes into comparables. Connor Hellebuyck and Sorokin average 8.25 million annual average value.
Connor Hellebuyck.
Wait. Disregard that. Ilya Sorokin. I'm just going to read this whole thing. That cap, they're talking about the $64 million cap. That cap would make him the 6th highest paid goalie in 24-25. 6th highest paid goalie for a guy who's only been in the league for 3 or 4 years, in my opinion, is pretty damn good.
That's awesome.
Trailing Ilya Sorokin at $8.25 million.
Ooh, Ilya.
Yeah.
Okay, he's worth every penny. But he's only at 8.25.
Yeah.
And we just said we don't think he's better than Ilya Sorokin.
Right. Connor Hellebuyck at 8.5.
He wants more money than Connor Hellebuyck.
Who's probably the best goalie in the league.
2 Vezinas. Just won the Vezina this past season, the reigning Vezina winner. He's got 2 Vezinas. Bob has 2 Vezinas.
Yeah.
Bob makes 10 with a cup. Connor Hellebuyck makes 8.5.
Andrei Vasilevsky, $9.5 million. Sergei Bobrovsky, $10 million. And Carey Price, $10.5.
Hey, I was right about Carey.
$10.5 million.
Carey's still getting it. Let's go.
Oh yeah, Carey.
I told we love Carey. I told you
is worth that money.
at the time. I think he was the first ever player to play in the finals, making over $10 million.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. So that's where I started getting into my $10 million thing. But he's Carey. Like, Carey can take up 50% of your cap space and you'll go to the finals. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you proved that already.
Yeah. The Montreal Canadiens, we're not a very talented team. We're down 3-1 to the Leafs, came back. Won that series.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Actually, it's not crazy.
Well, no,
It's so believable.
That was hilarious. That's just a classic Leafs thing.
It's like that's a storybook ending, or that should be in a storybook. And it's like, no, they're playing the Leafs.
We had Canadians all the way.
Yeah. That'd be one of those scenarios where it's like, oh, they're down 3-1. Lotzi, you gotta live bet the Canadians, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you did.
Grab them at plus 400, even though they should be like minus 400.
Yeah, obviously.
Even Vegas is like,
even Vegas is like, no,
we're not giving you our money.
No, if you're betting on either one, you're betting 10 to win 9.
Yeah,
they're both favorites.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. Sorry, I've just been kind of skimming through this article to see if there's anything.
Oh, this
more,
is good. You found some good information for us.
He's 25 years old. Appeared in a career high 44 contests.
It's not 60 that Hellebuyck played in.
Ooh, this is interesting. Aside from the currently injured Price is injured.
That finals run that Carey Price went on.
Yeah,
just like took everything.
Yeah,
That just shows you how
he's got back pain. Like, he's carrying the team, man.
He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, he does. Aside from the currently injured Price, the other 4 goalies making more than $8 million annually have seen at least 50 games of action in each of the last 3 campaigns. So
Swayman hasn't played a 50-game season yet, has he?
no, this says the 25-year-old appeared in a career-high 44 contest during the 23-24 regular season, which was obviously last season. And the season before that, I have no idea what he played. Yeah. I think that's pretty much
So the guys we're talking about, the guys who are being paid over $8 million or more, have been in the NHL for a while. They've been NHL starters for a long time. They've all played at least 50 games, and that's why they make $8 million or more.
Yeah.
Now, Swayman doesn't have any of those. Some of those guys have more than one Vezina. Swayman doesn't. We think he's an awesome goalie. We think he's a great goalie. But over 8, I think 8's a great deal for him right now. With his resume compared to those guys, 8's an awesome deal.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like I said, I thought maybe he was getting offered 5 or 6. And then if he got 7, I would have been like, well, good
for him.
contract.
Yeah. But he would have been Jacob Markstrom. And Igor's been making that too. Now, apparently, Igor's contract is going to go up.
Yeah. When's his run out?
He wants 12% of the cap, right?
I don't know.
I think he's up for a new contract this next year.
Whoa, look out.
And he wants 12% of the cap.
Okay, what would that put? What's the cap?
That's a lot of money. I don't know. The NHL cap went up this year. But I'm pretty sure Igor wants 12 of it. 12%.
I'm looking up current NHL salary cap. I don't know how we haven't done this before. I'm sure you have.
We have so many numbers going on in our head all the time. It's
88
just good to
million.
check. So it went up. So what's 12%
Wait.
increase from? Oh, yeah. 24, 25. So what's 12% of 88 million?
Calculator. What was the number? 88?
Yeah.
10.5.
10.5. So Swayman almost wants Igor money.
No. Yes. Well, you don't know that. We don't know that. He could be like, no, I want 8.5. He could be
Right.
holding out for 500
Right.
grand extra a year.
Yeah.
He could be like, I want Connor Hellebuyck's contract. And if I'm the Bruins, I'm like, huh? What?
Connor Hellebuyck has 2 Vezinas.
He's been doing it for like 9 years in the National League.
Yeah.
He's been carrying with the Winnipeg Jets to the playoffs every year for the last like 8
And
years.
he's played over 50 games like all of those years.
He's played like 65 games.
Yeah, I think he played 60 last year.
Laurent Persois played 23 games last year.
Yeah.
Don't know how that. I know that, but I know that.
So
82
Hellebuyck
divided
played
by
59.
20. Yeah. So I think that's like average for Hellebuyck. Like he
It is.
averages 6.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah.
It's you can't
Because he plays the way he plays and he can be a workhorse.
yeah
And he's a machine.
conserves energy. Swayman doesn't play that way.
No?
Plays a little different.
Yeah, well, he definitely plays different.
I think that
Nobody plays like Connor Hellebuyck,
no,
though.
but I'm saying the way that he plays, obviously, he conserves energy.
Yeah.
Swayman will have to spend more energy in those 59 games than Hellebuyck does
Yeah.
because he's not as tall. But UC does that, and UC plays like 59, 60 games a year.
Oh, man.
And
he's
in phenomenal shape, and he's great the whole season.
he's got to exert more. On his polar band, it's got to be reading
His heart
like,
rate sensor.
Yeah, twice higher than like Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he moves around a lot.
Except for what I've told you in the past about Connor Hellebuyck, because he trains with a guy in Kelowna that I've done work with, and I know that the gentleman in Kelowna that he works with, at least as of like 6 years ago, he would have Connor like, what's the best way to describe it? I've described it to you before, but like fully engaged, like muscles, like
You told me he was
rocking.
tensed up the whole time.
Yeah, like I hate that word.
His
though.
core,
tensed
his
up is
core, they're braced maybe.
yeah, he's got like the pelvic tilt, and he's like ready to rock. He's like, even though it looks like he's super structured, he's actually like, I don't want to say squeezing his muscles, but kind of.
Yeah, under tension.
Yeah,
Tense.
so tensed up is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It doesn't that just sound bad though? Like
It doesn't
he's, like,
sound right, but I think that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
I think people will get a picture of what we're talking about if
Yeah.
we use that verbiage.
Okay, but my point is maybe he's using more energy than we think because he's tensed up.
He's definitely not lazy,
No.
but I'm just saying the way he plays deep, efficient, it saves energy over the course of 60 games.
Right. What was the Connor Hellebuyck quote about him being like not very athletic? Didn't he have a quote in the playoffs or something?
He said something like he thinks he's the least flexible goalie in the league.
which he looks like it.
He looks like it, but that's great for everyone because that's a 2-time Vezina winner saying, hey, I'm not the most flexible guy, but I use my strengths, and that's how you play well. That's how you play to your game.
Right.
So you have a 2-time Vezina winner saying, hey, I'm not the most flexible. I'm not as flexible as Sorokin and Vasi and Bob and all those guys.
Yeah.
But I play to my strengths and I use my strengths, and everybody has their own strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know how to maximize those, you're gonna be a good goalie.
Yeah. Could you imagine trying to explain to somebody like Connor Hellebuyck's game? Like they're like, oh, he's the best goalie in the league. We're like, yeah. He's like, so he must be like crazy athletic and like make 6 saves all the time. We'd be like, no, not really.
He's
like, oh, is he flexible? We're like, no.
He is a good athlete, but he's not flexible.
Oh, so he's like a blocking style goalie? We're like, no.
I would say he's very intelligent in reading the game and reading shots, and he knows where to position himself in every situation.
Yeah,
and that's one of his strengths. So he's at the point where the puck almost just hits him all the time because he's always in a good spot. Now, he's also 6'4", but he's so smart with reading the game, he puts himself into a spot where the puck will just hit him all the time.
Yeah.
And I noticed that when I was in junior hockey and he was a freshman in college at UMass Lowell, they were showing highlights on TV, and I was like, this guy looks like he's not even...
He's got rubber magnets in his chest.
It looks like he's not even trying. It's just like he's there. He makes every single save look easy. And that was when he had like a 95% save percentage in college.
So is that like, was it frustrating for you? Because you're like, how is this?
Well, yeah. And then I'd go into practice. Like, yeah, here we go.
I'm going to try this.
Yeah. UMass Lowell's goalie guy is in to watch me practice. And I was like, I need to simplify my game a little bit. So I'm out there. I feel like I'm trying to play a little bit like Connor Hellebuyck, and I'm just like locked up, just getting scored on.
Just getting lit.
Yeah, just getting lit. Guy takes me to lunch after. He's like asking me questions. I'm like, I think it's cool. Like, oh, UMass Lowell's here.
Give me a beer.
Safe to say they did not offer me a spot on the team for the next season. That's how it goes.
It's tough to play like Connor Hellebuyck, man.
Hey, you know what? But Hellebuyck would say, you got to play to your strengths.
Right.
That's his strength. His strength is just knowing where the puck is going, and it just hits him.
Yeah. Man, he's so intelligent. Like people, I get it, it's one thing to like say it and watch his game and be like, oh yeah, I see what they're talking about. Like he's super intelligent and he plays that game. He's reading that play. But until you go in there and try and play that way, you don't realize how hard it is to play that way. He is like a master at it.
It sounds easy in theory, and in practice, it's easier. But when you're in a game and you have adrenaline going, and if you get scored on, there's real consequences. It's much harder to do it.
Totally
at that time.
Different.
Yeah, totally different environment.
And he's able to do it in a game, which is sick.
Speaking of which, we got to move on to our next thing, and then we have one more thing.
Well, I have about 5 minutes.
And the problem is that my blood pressure is going to get fired up on the last thing.
Oh God. I'll tell you.
Maybe we save that till next time. Let's see how long this takes. Let's save that till next time.
Yeah, we got to get the blood pressure thing out because you can't just leave the people hanging. Especially.
Well, no, but now we're talking about Connor Hellebuyck, so it segues right into what we're talking about.
Okay. This episode is brought to you by Vita Era Hydration. Vita Era addresses 2 critical issues for a healthy lifestyle. First, throughout your day, you lose essential vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes. Whether you're taking a walk, working out, or engaging in any energy-intensive activity, Vita Era replenishes these nutrients without the processed sugars and artificial additives like sucralose or aspartame found in many hydration products. Instead, Vita Era uses stevia, one of the healthiest natural sweeteners, to provide a refreshing taste. Second, with 60 to 70% of our bodies made up of water and 75% of people chronically dehydrated, it's showing that we're not drinking enough water. As an additive to water, Vita Era encourages you to increase your water intake. Vita Era is a 3-in-1 solution. It provides your everyday essential vitamins and minerals, green tea for enhanced performance and recovery, and electrolytes to maximize hydration efficiency. Each serving includes 500 milligrams of potassium, equivalent to the potassium content of a banana. Stay hydrated. Drink Vita Era.
Okay. We saw a stat line Saturday night. In the preseason game against the Minnesota Wild, Connor Hellebuyck faced 29 shots through 2 periods. And guess how many goals he gave up?
Well, I now know. 8?
It was 8.
And how many shots, sorry?
29.
In 40 minutes?
Yes.
He got peppered.
And I think the first thing that we said was, been there.
Yeah. I know that feeling. I think, and the next thing we said was, he's going to be calling us being like, guys, how do I
He's going to call us and say, man, I've never gotten shelled for 7 on 21.
I got to call
or 8 on 29. How do I handle this?
Yeah.
We're just like, hey, man.
Wait, Flaherty's like, here, this is Austin Lotz's phone number. Give him a call.
He happens to be from St. Adolphe, believe it or not.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I hunt with his buddies.
Yeah.
I know him.
And I think the only thing we'd say to him is, man, life goes on.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually.
How do you recover from that?
Not going to lie, Connor, you're going to stare at a wall for a few days, but you're going to try and...
It doesn't matter if it's regular season or preseason. You're just like...
It stings.
Yeah, it stings.
Yeah. It was, to be honest, the most recent memory... I have 2 recent memories. One was a time I was in Rapid City. We went into the third period. We were down 2-3, and by the end of the game, we lost like 10-2.
Going into the third?
Yeah. It was we were down 2-3.
You guys gave up 7 goals in the third period?
Yeah.
Connor Hellebuyck gave up 7 goals in the second period.
Yeah. I let in one. It was insane. I let in like 4 goals. Then we got in a line brawl. I got in a fight who got high-sticked in the face and ended up getting like 16 stitches. Then I was looking at the bench, and first I was looking at the dressing room door and at the referee, and I was like, are you going to tell me that I can leave now? Because I need to get out of here. And he's like, you could stay. I'm like, oh, my God.
No, do not keep me in this game.
Yeah. Then I'm looking at the bench of the backup. Well, yeah, Adam Morrison. I was his backup, but at this game, he was my backup. I'm looking at him. He's got his hat on. I'm like, you're joking right now. And then I stay in there, let in another 2 or 3, one from like the half wall that just like floated in. Boys were looking at me with their hands in the air.
So you gotta paint this picture for us. So you're going in the third period. You're down 3-2.
You're playing good.
I'm playing good. You're playing good.
I'm playing really good. We're getting throttled, and it was like I let in 3 on like 28.
Yeah, you're thinking, all right, the boys are going to come back. We're going to win this game. It's going to feel good at the end.
Yeah.
So you go out and you give up how many in the third?
Total in the third?
No, to start.
To start?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Like probably
Before
like
your
4.
fight.
Probably like 4.
So you've given up 4 through the period so far. So obviously I know
in like 10 minutes.
I know you're fired up.
Yeah.
So you give up 4 to start the third period.
Yeah.
You're now down 7-2. There's a line brawl. You fight in the line brawl.
Yeah, my buddy high-sticked their guy in the face. He was like, you do that again, I'm going to slash you in the face. The guy did it again. He slashed him in the face.
Okay, so 2-handed a guy in the face. Okay. Now, you're fighting a goalie?
No. So the guy that got slapped after the line brawl, and this is like an insane line brawl, like absolutely insane. Guys were throwing their gloves from the bench and sticks at guys on the ice. It was insane. The guy has to skate by me, not like across me, just like near me. I'm like in my net, and he's like skating that way.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what I said. I at that point, like you said, I'm hot. So I'm at him, and I yell blah, 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 over to him, and he goes blah, 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 back to me. I turn over, and he's skating towards me. I'm like, oh no! And this guy's he's like a tough guy.
Yeah.
I'm 21-year-old rookie goalie, and there's like a coast tough guy coming at me.
Right. So you've given up 4. There's a line brawl. As that guy's skating by you off the ice, you end up fighting him. Mm-hmm. So now you've given up 4. You get in a fight against a tough guy.
Then I fought their goalie because he skated down. He skated down.
So the goalie skates down, you fight him.
Yeah.
So you've given up 4. You fight 2 people.
Yeah.
And through all of that, you get to stay in the hockey game?
Yeah.
So you give up 4, you fight 2 people, you stay in the hockey game after eating a couple to the face, and then you give up 3 more, one being from the half wall?
Yes. We could find this game.
I can only imagine you fighting 2 people. You've given up 4 through the third. You've now given up 7 in 50 minutes of hockey. You're looking at the ref, and you're looking at the bench to the backup like, hey, man, why don't you?
Your turn.
Can you relieve me here? And he's like, no.
It's like, this is my rest day.
I'm not going into this game. Yeah. I played Friday, Saturday. This is the third of a 3-3.
He's like, I played Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. This is yours.
Man. I don't want to go. I don't want to go in and give up 3 more for us at this time.
Right. He's like, Lottie, you get 1 game every 6. I'm not coming in this one. This is you. Yeah, man.
I can't believe you were allowed to stay in that game.
Dude, it was insane.
Okay. How do we get on that? Oh, we're talking about getting lit up.
Yeah. But keep in mind, I have to go.
You have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm either going to drop the mic and leave you alone on an island.
No, we'll wrap this up right now. I think that's
Okay.
a good story to end with. I think we should say one thing really quick.
Okay.
You're Connor Hellebuyck. You've just given up 8 on 29. This reminds me of the Carey Price when the Montreal fans want him traded, and he gave up like a ton of goals on not very many shots in the preseason, and the fans were like, we should have traded him instead of Hellebuyck.
Mm-hmm.
And his response was, chill out.
Yeah, he's like, just chill out, man. It's preseason.
First game. Yeah. So how do you recover from this?
I think Connor Hellebuyck in the position that he's in, with so much experience, for him, it's already gone. It's already gone.
That didn't even happen.
He's like, you know what? In his head, he's like, because he knows he's good. He knows how to play in that league. He knows it's going to be fine.
And preseason is crazy.
Preseason's
it's
crazy.
Totally unstructured. You have guys that aren't used to it. They get burned all the time.
Yeah.
It's not the same as an NHL game.
But on a personal level, he's probably like, you know what? It's first game back. That's my first game in 4 or 5 months. I didn't play my best. The team's a mess because we have these rookies on whatever, right? Like you said, there's so many different variables involved with preseason. It's already gone.
Yeah.
But if you're a guy that hasn't experienced that before, I think there's multiple steps to recovering from that you would probably need to take. Yeah. Which would take a minute to explain.
Right. But the main thing is Hellebuyck's very driven, and he's very confident in his game from what I've seen about him. So I think just to say all we need to say right now is going forward, I think he just forgets about it. I think he trusts in his game and just keeps doing what he does. Yeah. Just plays his game.
I think
no need to change anything. This is one of those things where it's like you don't need to change anything. Just keep doing what you do.
Yeah. There's like I've said this before on the podcast. As someone who's I think I'm a slow starter in regards to it takes me a while. Even once the season starts, it takes me a while to find my rhythm of a game. It can be tough to get out of it. But some guys just need to get that game flow back in to reach their top level.
Right.
And it's interesting.
You get into a rhythm almost.
Yes. In my opinion, from what I saw from you last year, you're able, at least last year, to get right into it because the first few games of last year, you were insane. Insane.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I gave up 2 goals from behind the goal line. Both the first 2 games.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't have to. I'm not going to go into this. You were insane right off the hop. So it varies. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't like my start last year. I wasn't playing very good. I knew that I didn't feel good.
The team wasn't playing good the games he played either.
Right, but I didn't feel good myself. There was goals going in that I was like, man, I'm just not on it.
That's the hardest to deal with.
I'm not on it.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same rhythm or at the same time, you and I had similar training programs, right, in regards to on ice and whatever.
Yeah.
And you, in my opinion, looked like you were feeling great at the start. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it varies.
Yeah, I mean, it was easier with our team at the time, too, because we were just playing well. Those games I played.
Well, whatever. I thought you were making.
We had a guy that had 2 hat tricks in one game, and 3 fights.
We would. I need to go. Otherwise, I would just keep going on about how many ridiculous backdoor saves you made in that span of 5 games to start the season. It was insane. Backup goalies on the other team were looking at me with their jaw on the floor, like, "Who is this guy?" I'm like, "You guys are obviously new here. He's been in the league for 5 years. He's been good here for a while." It's like, is he always like this? I'm like, yeah, usually he's like this, yeah. Okay, I got to go.
All right. You got to go. I think that's a good spot to end for today.
Yeah.
We have very busy schedules. We wear many hats.
Yeah. Hats are especially on Mondays.
So now Austin is changing hats.
Yeah. Adios, people.
And that's where we are for this week. All right. Thank you, everyone.